You are wasting your time if you're just sending out your resume or your CV to absolutely anybody. Are you sending your resume or CV out to all of your new space connections and not hearing anything back? That's because you're doing it wrong. Let me tell you why. Hi, I'm Laura Forsick. I am a space professional and a space career coach. And I have talked to so many people who just send their resume to everyone. And maybe you've seen this too. If you're on LinkedIn, chances are you have had a message from a new connection with a resume attached or a request to send you their resume. What do? Do you read it? I don't. I don't even read the long paragraphs that people send me about themselves. I don't have that kind of time. But here specifically is why other people are not responding when you are sending out your resume or CV to your new connections. Chances are your new networking connections are not recruiters, not HR specialists, not hiring managers. They do not care about your resume or CV because it is not their job to care. They are focused on their work. They don't know what to do with your resume or CV unless they are a recruiter, HR specialist, or hiring manager. But unless the company is tiny, then chances are you need to go through the proper process to apply for a job. A hiring manager at a larger company or organization isn't going to take your resume that you sent through a direct message and then put it at the top of the list for a job posting. You need to actually be committed to the process of applying through the method that the company uses. And so it can help certainly if a hiring manager knows your name, if a recruiter or an HR specialist is vouching for you, if somebody within the company that you know is referring you. All of that helps. And yes, if someone asks you for your resume, then send it to them, of course. But don't send out your resume or CV unsolicited, because if they're not somebody who is hiring and can do something with your resume, then chances are high that they're not even going to look at it. Why aren't people going to look at your resume? Why don't I look at the resumes that people send me? Honestly, I don't have the time and I don't care. I have nothing to do with this resume that was sent to me. It's not like I have a folder on my desktop labeled resume that new connections sent to me and then I go look at them from time to time. No, that does not happen. And I would be shocked if anybody has that, unless they are an extreme specialist and they are only looking at maybe 10 other people in the world who are doing this one thing and you're one of them, and they want to keep you on file because you're one of 10 people, but chances are you're talking to them on a regular basis, so they're not going to forget you. So no, people are not going to keep you in mind just because you sent them your resume. And also, it's very time specific. If I'm hiring right now for a specific type of role and you meet that role, well, maybe I can consider your resume, although I actually would prefer that you go through the process that I set up through my company. But maybe I'll look at your resume. Maybe I'm not hiring right now. Maybe I'm hiring 6 months or a year or 2 years from now. And I remember, for some reason, I remember that you do this specific thing that I'm looking to hire for. But I don't know if you're available 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years after you sent me your resume. You might be fully employed in a different role at a different company by then. So it really is very time specific, which is why you should be going through the proper channels when you are looking to get hired. And finally, and probably most importantly, when you send someone your resume, you are indicating that this relationship is entirely about you. It is you-centric. You are only talking to them because of what they can do for you. And that is not how you network. That is the wrong way to network. That is a good way to stop your connections from talking to you further. Because networking is not about take. Networking is about building a relationship between two people professionally. It is about how can you help them and how can they help you, with a big focus on how can you help them? How can you serve their needs? Who are they? Do you even know who you're sending your resume to? Do you know what they're looking for? Do you know what their needs are? Do you know what their challenges are? Do you know if they are even in the field that you want to work in, or the specific area that you want to work in, or the company that you want to work in? And understanding that when you send them your resume, you're making the conversation entirely about you, which is a turnoff to them. Because why should they care about you? why should they take that time to help you when you are a stranger or an acquaintance? So understand that when you're networking, it is a give and take. It is a building of a relationship. You need to make them know that you care about them as a person, as an individual, not because they are working in a company that you want to work for or working in a job that you want to work for, but because they're an interesting person that you want to get to know. And that is how you network. You network with a attitude of curiosity and of service rather than of how can this person help me get a job. So the best thing you can do is to build that relationship so that by the time you are applying for a job, they already know you and you're having these conversations saying, I am truly interested in this job that was just posted. Can you refer me? Or can you connect me with the hiring manager? Or can you keep me in mind if I happen to come up in conversation as the job is being looked at? So those are the proper ways to network with your new connections so that you can get a job if that is what you're seeking. You are wasting your time if you're just sending out your resume or your CV to absolutely anybody. It also shows a lack of focus. If you are having trouble with networking, with focusing down on the specific roles that you want, if you're just throwing things out there and hoping that somebody will get back to you, then perhaps you need assistance with Space Career Coaching. Go to lauraforsick.com and I will see if you're a good candidate for Space Career Coaching.